Well, hey, welcome to Movie Community College. I am the professor. I hope all is well here. I have a video here. It's kind of long, so I'm going to do it in a couple sections, and it's on. It's from In This Lens, which is my friend Sid, and he's going to be talking to Ravi Ranjan Singh Ji, who explains Halanomics and how does it affect the world. And I know. Halal, we have some halal stores out in Phoenix, and prior to this this topic becoming that Sid has been putting forth, if you were to ask me prior to this what is halal, I would say it's like kosher for Muslims, food that has been blessed or purified somehow for a Muslim family to consume without becoming what's the word I'm looking for? Defiled or something. That would be my guess. But this goes a little bit more into it, so let's take a look at it.
So there's halal non-veg food, halal veg food, halal banking, halal airways, halal hospital, halal medicine, halal dating sites.
Right.
So there's everything that is halal. Even your shirt can be halal certified shirt. In Islam, everything is taken care of. How you eat, how you walk, how you sleep, everything is either halal or haram. Any well, any pond will get dry once when there is no rainwater, no water added to it, and you keep taking out the water. So it will be. Yeah, it will be drained out. So this is what is happening with our economy. It's something like it's an economic black hole. So we are happily walking into economic black hole. This 3 trillion USD economy, 4 trillion USD economy, and that is going to be something like 10 trillion USD economy in less than a decade. Halal banking, then halal stock exchange on its way. One by one, we are losing inch by inch and year by year.
Hello, viewers, and welcome to the Indus Lens Show. And today we have a very special guest, Mr. Ravi Ranjan Singh Ji. He's a well-known person. He was one of the litigants in the Ram Janmabhoomi case in India, and also he's the founder of Jhatka certification. And today he's going to enlighten us with his knowledge of his work, and also he will tell us more about into what he does and what is Jhatka and what mainly is halal and what he has been fighting for since last 13-14 years now. So namaste and welcome to our show.
Ram namaste. Thank you very much for giving me a chance to be with you. And before anything, I'll just ask you to excuse me for my English not being my native language. My accent is different than that's what is in US or something. That's
perfectly fine.
That's my limitation.
But thank you very much for giving us the time, and it's really an honor to talk to you. Just our audience want to know exactly, there has been a lot of misconception, as I think you have talked in a lot of videos previously. There's been a lot of misconception about the terminology halal itself. It is just considered just the meat. But the halal industry go way, way beyond that. It's 3.5 to 4 trillion economy. So can you tell us more about what exactly halal is and what is your Jhatka certification?
Okay. Halal is, let's understand halal as a word, as a term, and as a concept. Halal is an Arabic word, which was very much there even before Islam was there.
Okay.
The meaning of halal is same as it was before Islam, when the Islam was being founded, during the Muslim prophets' time, and till date, the meaning is same. It means legitimate, permissible. Before Islam, all these tribes who lived there in that area, Makkah, Medina, and all this, they all had their own legitimacy standards, as we have worldwide. We have US has its own rule, and we have our own rules. So every halal was different from another halal. Like what is legitimate for one tribe may not be legitimate for another tribe. That is something universal. With advent of Islam, halal was put into a bracket that halal means anything that is legitimate according to Islam is Islamic halal.
Okay.
So now what we use word instead of Islamic halal, we say halal.
Mm-hmm.
By saying so, we accept Islamic halal as universal halal or as universally permissible. But permission and legitimacy differ from place to place.
Right.
Like alcohol may be illegal somewhere, not permissible, but in some countries it's legal, very much legal.
Right.
So we
Right.
cannot universalize what is legitimate. We cannot universalize what is halal.
Permissible. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So just like halal, there's another word haram.
Mm-hmm.
So whatsoever is not halal is haram. That is very obvious.
Okay.
There are a lot of things which are illegal in US and legal in India, and there are a lot of things legal in India and illegal in any Arabian country. That depends from society to society.
Right.
And within the society also there's a difference. Every permission has a rider with it. There is a condition with every permission.
Yes.
Like it's a bar or a pub. Well, a 12-year-old boy comes and says, "I want a drink," so maybe you're not permitted. The license is there. We serve people, but we're not going to permit to serve it to a minor. So that is what has to be understood. Now, over years, we have taken Islamic halal as halal. So that has narrowed our thinking to Islamic halal. So far, this is permissible is concerned. I have no problem when it is limited to Muslims only. But when it is forced upon others, it's problematic. Now, like most of us, we associate halal with non-vegetarian food, meat, and industry related to meat.
Okay.
But everything is legitimate in Islam. Everything is either legal or illegal. There are so many venues which we don't bother. U.S. Constitution, Indian Constitution, or even Mexican Constitution, they don't bother about so many things. In Islam, everything is taken care of. How you eat, how you walk, how you sleep, everything is either halal or haram.
Okay.
So right now, if instead of you, if the anchor was a lady, could be according to Islam, it was haram my talking to her. But that's not haram. That's not haram according to me. Now there is one thing is when it comes to meat industry or meat, the slaughtering part, there are conditions like animal has to face Makkah. Well, when it's in India, it has to face west. When it is in west, so US, it has to face east.
In the east, yeah.
Yeah, the center of the universe is Makkah, according to them. So this condition, for me, to be very frank, it's a very funny condition for me. But it's not a dangerous condition. Anyone who believes in that it's a sin if it is not facing Makkah and it's not a sin facing a Makkah, well, for me, it's something I don't understand, beyond my understanding. But that's up to him or her. If they believe so, yes, they may believe so. They have got right to believe so. But there are other conditions that bother me. And that should bother every kafir on the earth. Because those conditions are really killing conditions.
Okay.
Like, well, first there's not a single halal. I mean, at times halal is same, and at times Shia halal may be different from Sunni halal.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the way. That's the way of there's difference between legitimacy, even within the sects there are different legitimacies.
Right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So then there are conditions like no non-Muslim kafir should be given any employment or should get any benefit out of this whole transaction, this whole business. That is mostly something dangerous.
Okay.
That is discriminatory.
Yes.
This condition.
Yeah.
Then there are other conditions. Then in US, there have been a lot of reports that this is going for terror funding or this or that. Now, they call it charity, sabab, sabab or kherat or zakat, whatsoever
Zakat,
name.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, zakat is for a different purpose and kherat is for a different purpose, but whatsoever. If at ends it lands to some kind of terrorism, it is something of great concern to all non-Muslims.
Mm.
And even to Muslims, it should be a matter of concern.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
that is what it is. And to get the certificate of halal, we don't really bother. Like I'll show you an Indian this thing. This is a packet of chips.
Mm-hmm.
If you can see it,
Yes. Uh-huh.
there is a sign here which we have as so
Yeah,
this
vegetarian.
means
Yeah.
this is vegetarian.
Right.
Right on the top of it, there is another sign symbol that is halal. So that means there was no slaughtering in these potato chips.
Right. Right. So how does that become
But
halal?
then how it becomes halal? Because the other conditions that no kafir has been given employment or will uh, generate any.
So I'm going to stop right there because this is a really long video, and if you watch the whole video and then try to talk about everything that you heard in there, I lose my place, quite honestly. So this is part one. So what is it? What did this guy define as halal? You know that it is a code of food processing to the Muslim consumer, that if they buy something that has the halal logo on it or symbol on it, that they know that they're not going to be defiled in consuming this product, and in that this state, kind of Muslim sect to Muslim sect. So Shiites may have a different categorization of what this means versus the Sunnis. Okay, I think everybody is okay with that so far. And then he said that this is going into other things. It's just not a food thing anymore. It is in banking, the stock market, all these different things, that it is a way that you do this, and that you are able to participate in commerce and consumption and not defile your conscience. And I think most citizens of the world would say, okay, that's good. And he said that the thing that concerns him then is any of this money being funneled back to terrorism, right? That's what concerns him, is any of the money being funneled back to terrorism. That's number one. And number two, why is it being imposed on other people? And I don't know if you guys have watched Seinfeld. I don't know how familiar my Indian audience is with Seinfeld, but there was an episode called, I think it was called The Ribbon, and it was the AIDS ribbon. There was an AIDS awareness parade / event, and they were handing out these ribbons that they wanted everybody to wear to say, yes, I identify, I'm for the cause. And they gave one to Kramer, and Kramer refused to wear it. He didn't want to wear the ribbon. It wasn't that he was against AIDS, like he wasn't against defeating AIDS. He just didn't want to wear that. And it became such a point where they beat him up to get him to wear the ribbon. And I think when it comes to anything like this, whether it's kosher, halal, whatever it is, I really think that most people are for it until you begin to force it on people. Then just the own human nature kicks in, and now they're against it. Because I think most people have the attitude of live and let live. I think. And I don't think Indians are that different than the American view is. Whatever you do in your house is your own business. None of my business, unless you violate my own personal freedom or enjoyment or whatever. Whether you violate the peace. So I think that what this guy is getting to is that there's nothing wrong with this in theory to do this, because he pointed out the bag of chips, that there was a bag of chips that was marked for vegetarian, that you knew that if you were going to eat this as a vegetarian, you weren't going to be taking any kind of meat product or byproduct. which happens. In America there are high protein chips. Well, they're made with meat. That's how they get the protein count up. They go through some kind of, where they're cooked in with the meat and they absorb in the proteins from the beef or whatever. And it's like, you probably want to know that, especially if you're, vegetarian and Hindu, that, like I accidentally consumed a cow or parts of a cow. But how well does this movement, how much does it impose on the average person? Right now in America, you're seeing the George Floyd movement and Black Lives Matter movement. Well, they're now losing the country because, I think everybody, and I'm going to use this as an example, I think everybody would say police brutality is bad. When the police kill somebody who's not really resisting, that's kind of bad, right? Everybody is for that. But this has been co-opted now when they're doing things like they've taken over 7 city blocks in Seattle. And they're, raping and pillaging and all this stuff going on. And now the American people are like, whatever, dude, this is something weird. We're not involved with this. You're on your own. And I think this has the potential to affect people that way with any kind of regulation that you're putting on. If you're going to say, hey, this is, if I were to say, hey, this is safe for all Christians to drink, you're not going to violate your conscience. Well, that's really not in the Bible, but, Old Testament maybe. And so Christians can say, yeah, okay, great, I'll drink this and I won't violate my conscience. But then as I begin to impose it on you, who are not Christian, you probably become a little resentful at me about it. Like, why do I got to pay extra to put your stamp on when I'm not even your faith? I don't care if it whatever it violates in you. So I think this is getting down to the universal truth that every kid knows: fairness. Parents, am I right? Kids, am I right? Just think about when you were little and you had a snack and you had to split it with your sibling, and mom broke it in half and gave you one and gave the other one to your sibling. Not fair. He's got more. Not fair. Not fair. And I think that this may encroach on the not fair. This is not fair. And when you hit that as a group, people tend to push back. People tend to be like, ah. So that was part one. We understand what it is, right? Part two, we'll take a look at and see then, is this happening? Is this the repercussions? And then, if so, what do we do about it? Thank you so much for watching, man. I love you guys. You guys have been awesome. And I'll catch you later. Peace and much love.
नमस्ते दोस्तों, अगर आप ये सोच रहे होंगे कि प्रोफेसर के शो में मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ और मैं कौन हूँ, तो मैं आपको बता दूं, मैं वही हूँ जिसके बारे में प्रोफेसर ने आपसे कई बार बात की है और मेरे बारे में बताया है। जी हाँ, मैं उनका बहुत अच्छा मित्र, बहुत अच्छा दोस्त हूँ और मुझे लोग सिड के नाम से जानते हैं। और मैं एक इंडियन अमेरिकन हूँ। हम यहाँ पर प्रो इंडिया, प्रो भारत, प्रो हिंदू कॉजेस के लिए काम करते हैं, चाहे हिंदुस्तान में हो या अमेरिका में। और हमारा खुद का एक चैनल है इंडस लेंस, तो आप उसके लिए प्लीज़ 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 हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल इंडस लेंस को सब्सक्राइब करें। और जैसे प्रोफेसर ने आपको बताया, मैंने और उनके साथ पहले कोई रेडियो शोज किए हैं। अब हम फिर से जो इंडस लेंस के इंटरव्यूज और रिव्यूज हम करते हैं जो प्रो इंडिया, प्रो हिंदू इश्यूज पर, हम वो darkskyradio.com पर फीचर करने जा रहे हैं। तो आप ज़रूर सब्सक्राइब करें हमारे इंडस लैंड यूट्यूब चैनल को और ज़रूर हमारे रेडियो शोज को darkskyradio.com पर ज़रूर सुनिए। नमस्ते, जय हिंद।